The Charleston was the rage of the Roaring '20s. The Watusi and mashed potato scream 1960s. And today, it's hip-hop. But showbiz professionals will tell you there's one dance that never goes out of style. Here's Barry Mitchell.
Tap, a relic, a pleasant bit of nostalgia from a bygone era. Oh, really?
Tap is an art form. It's one of the great American art forms.
Brian Siebert is the author of What the Eye Hears, A History of Tap Dancing. And when his fingers aren't tapping the keys of his laptop, he taps.
I called it What the Eye Hears to get at the fact that tap is something visual and oral. The core definition of tap is playing music with your feet. Everything else is kind of extra.
Here's Vanessa. She's going to show us a time step. Take it, Vanessa. There you go. That says tap to me. That's showbiz for you right there.
The amazing Blackburn twins. So let's have a nice hand.
You might say tap is the Rodney Dangerfield of dance.
Sometimes it doesn't get the respect that ballet gets, for example. Tap doesn't get respect that it should get, partly because of where it comes from. It's a mixture of cultures from Africa that came with slaves and cultures from the British Isles, especially the Irish. It doesn't exist in either of those places. It had to come here through the mixing of cultures that is the American story.
Stories like the legendary Bill Bojangles Robinson.
Now you just watch.
I don't want to.
Bill Robinson became famous with the Shirley Temple movies. He was very famous for his stair dance, which I recommend you go see if you haven't seen it. You can find it on YouTube, and it's like one of the great tap numbers of all time. You can see him playing with the staircase the way you would with a musical instrument.
April Cook teaches tap at Broadway Dance Center.
One of my favorite reasons for tap dancing is it's such a shared art form. And I love that you can't just get a video and learn how to tap dance. You probably could, but I think the traditional way of doing it is word of mouth and teacher-student. And I think that is just beautiful. I love that. Shim Sham?
Sure.
Okay.
The Shim Sham is a traditional dance in tap dancing. It was created in the late 1920s, and it's the kind of dance that all tap dancers know.
And if two or more dancers have to perform unexpectedly with no rehearsal,
They would look at each other and they would go into the Shim Sham because that was the dance everybody knew.
demonstrated here by Brian Siebert and Sarah Reich.
Savion Glover is still a leader in the field. Tap can also be very small. It can be a refined art that you just moving your feet in a subtle way.
And generating lots of buzz,
Kazu is an example of how tap has spread across the world. He's an amazing tap dancer who was born in Japan. There is a sense in which tap was so widely popularized in these movies from the 1930s and 40s that when those movies stopped being made, it fixed it in the past, which it's not.
what do you plan to do with your tap?
Be on Broadway.
Be a Radio City Rockette, and if I can't get that, then I would love to be on Broadway.
My lifelong dream is to be a Radio City Rockette.
Tap is definitely still alive, and you can see it in the young people who keep learning it and keep bringing it into a new art form.
Shuffling off to Buffalo, Barry Mitchell for Arts in the City.